Welcome in, all you football addicts out there. Back here on Football Friday. Good to have Mark back, finally.
Yay!
Mr. Texas Ranger.
That's
But
me.
yeah, we got pretty short show. I was happy there was actually stuff that went on during the week. Otherwise, it would be a very short show. But we actually had some news. So we'll get through that and then we'll end the show like I did on Monday with our mock drafts, our 3-round mock drafts for the Jets and Texans today. As always, anytime we're talking about the Jets, Chris's team, I have my Tim Tebow Jets jersey on. The only Jets
I love
jersey
it.
on, so.
I love it.
I mean, if he was a little bit better as a Jet, I would enjoy that jersey, but
The only Jets jersey I have. So, okay, so we have some NCAA news. Interesting at the FCS level. Grambling State has their new offensive coordinator. Former Browns head coach Hugh Jackson hired as the head coach in December. And now another intriguing hire, if you want to call it intriguing. They hired former Baylor head coach Art Briles to be their offensive coordinator. Now, very good offensively minded head coach, was behind RG3's Heisman season in 2012. But he didn't leave Baylor on the greatest terms. Sexual assault investigation by the NCAA. So, Mark, you're our coaching guru. So, let us know.
The guy can flat out coach on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, can anyone remember when Baylor football was humming the way it was under any other coach? So he knows what he's doing. I mean, if you know anything about the debacle that he left at Baylor, some of it is disgusting, the things that were swept under the rug, but it was, I guess, bound to happen because when you think about it, the athletic director at Baylor is now at Liberty. That was fired during that investigation, and now Art Briles is a OC. I don't know if any Power 5 wants to touch him yet, but if they do a good job at Grambling, he might be back as a head coach somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it many a time, second chances are fine. It's when you try to get a third chance after multiple issues off the field. That is when I think there's a problem. But yeah, Art Briles. We'll have to see. Hugh Jackson wasn't the greatest head coach with the Browns, so
that's
how he does in college. Granted, Hugh said he was getting paid by the Browns to lose, like Stephen Ross wanted to do with Brian Flores. So, how many games did Hugh Jackson actually try to win in Cleveland? That is a question that no one knows the answer to.
I mean, with the teams that he had, though, it wasn't hard to lose anyway.
True. Hey, he had Brock Osweiler, okay?
Hey, all I know is if those allegations are true by both owners, I mean, it's going to be really hard to ever prove that unless there's a paper trail. But that is going against the integrity of the game, and both owners should lose their teams.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, there most definitely would be a paper trail unless they paid him in cash, which is probably not the case considering it was a lot per game. So. Michigan hiring one of their former stars, former quarterback Bernard Robinson, the last player to be on an NCAA football video game cover. He is going to be at Michigan as their assistant director of player personnel. Title to me doesn't necessarily matter that much, but Bernard had a nice career in the NFL, and now he's back at his alma mater trying to help Coach Harbaugh win a championship. So, Kentucky, they have their new offensive coordinator. It is 49ers quarterbacks coach Rick Scangarello. He is replacing Liam Cohn, who left to be Sean McVay's new offensive coordinator after Kevin O'Connell got hired in Minnesota. So that completes the triangle of switches there. All right, going to NFL news here. This was a big thing that I was happy that a legal sports issue I could finally talk about, because there haven't been many other than the Brian Flores case. But this one I know more about. Congress, they are introducing a bill to eliminate stadium subsidies for professional sports teams. This doesn't just include the NFL, it includes all professional sports teams as far as I know, which is major. I know we learned this at East Stroudsburg, Chris. I know we learned this at Georgia, Mark. The financing of sports stadiums, major tax breaks for owners, so they don't have to pay the entire price out of pocket, which I agree with what the statements of some of the congressmen and women that are putting this together. These owners, they have hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, and you're telling me they can't pay out of pocket. I've always wondered about that anyways. Why they have all this money and yet they can't pay for a stadium out of pocket. It made no sense to me. So
yeah, I mean, to some extent, I saw why politicians didn't want them to pay out of pocket, because you can use the Rams as an example, right? If they pay out of pocket, they can just up and leave town whenever they want, right? Like, I own the stadium, I can sell it to the next person, we're out of here. And the second thing for politicians that they enjoyed is, when you think about these stadiums, they're not these grand, most people think of them as grand marquees that we go and watch things. But when things like Hurricane Katrina or, natural disasters happen, they become safe havens, so to speak. And so the politicians always want to have some sort of stake and control in that. I mean, I know stadiums where they ask for taxpayers' dollars, like you and I, to fund it. And if we say no, the politicians still have ways to write it in to where it does somehow get funded. But now owners are going to be allowed to do that. And I think it should be both ways. I don't think it should just be one way, if that makes sense. I'm kind of just explaining why politicians never really wanted them to pay with their own, if that makes sense, because then they kind of had a control of what the stadium is used for at certain times.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, you saw I think Stan Kroenke wanted to move the team anyways, but that was the issue with St. Louis, is that the city of St. Louis wouldn't help them in financing the stadium, so that's why they moved.
So it has it's got definitely its negatives and some advantages, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest reason why this is coming up now is because of Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder and the investigation currently going on in his organization. And they are having their own problems, not just with the investigation, But stadium as well, they are trying to get a new stadium built. Their lease runs out in Landover, Maryland, 2020 after the 2027 season. So they have 5 years to get a new stadium built,
or a new owner that people want to work with.
Well, that's the issue. Even if Daniel Snyder gets pushed out, would they be able to get a deal done with the state of Maryland and Washington D.C. itself in time to build a stadium somewhere else? Or I don't think it will happen, but would the Commanders move somewhere? There aren't many available places now, with LA being taken up by 2 teams. But St. Louis is one team still. I know other places that have basketball possibly wanting an NFL team as well. You look at cities like Memphis, cities like Portland, and even I know there's been a situation where people have been saying, Houston can support 2 teams as well. So I don't know. Like I said, I highly doubt that's going to be anything, but yeah. Big news in broadcasting. Troy Aikman is on the move. He is moving from Fox Sports to ESPN's Monday Night Football. And so I don't know how it's going to work, who is getting kicked out. I would assume that Brian Greasy is going to be gone. I really enjoyed Louis Riddick. And who was the other guy that was on there with him and Grease?
I can't remember.
It was the guy that was the non-football guy. I don't remember.
I know his face, but I forget his name.
Same. I can picture him right now. Yeah, but I think that possibly they switch out one quarterback for a better quarterback in terms of on-field play. Anyways, I mean, I don't know. I do like Troy Aikman as a broadcaster as well. He's not Romo. He's not on the Romo status, but Aikman's pretty good.
I'm just glad Aikman won't be with Joe Buck anymore, because I really can't stand Joe Buck.
It doesn't matter. Joe Buck's still going to be announcing. He's just going to have a new partner.
I know, but I'm just saying I like listening to Troy Aikman, like you said, but I hate listening to Joe Buck. So now I'm just glad that they're not together.
That's not it. Is it Joe Tessitore? Is that? Oh no, Steve Levy. Steve Levy.
Oh yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't know if it's confirmed or not though. I just saw one tweet. Oh, I guess it is. On the verge of joining Monday Night Football. I mean, ESPN must be throwing him major dollars though for him to leave Fox.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know exactly how much he was making, but I mean, he's been with Fox since 2002. The New York Post says it's a 5-year deal, $17.5 million per year.
17.5?
Yeah, to go to ESPN.
Dang, it's like he's playing football still. He ain't even getting hit anymore.
Yeah, so I don't know. Oh, I guess he's going to be on a different. Yeah, I guess they're keeping the same broadcast, but they're going to have, I don't know how it's going to work. I was trying to read it real quick, while we're on the air, but that's fine. Next on the docket, franchise tag window is officially open. It will be open until March 8th. So 2 weeks, kind of. A week and a half is when it closes. Some names to watch out for: Packers wide receiver Devontae Adams, Bengals safety Jesse Bates, Patriots corner J.C. Jackson, and Chiefs offensive tackle Orlando Brown Jr. What to see how many get tagged this year.
Another name you could throw out there too is Allen Robinson again.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's his second or third one, but still.
Yeah, I think it would be his third. I'm trying to see a list of tags, but I don't know. But yeah, I would also think your Jets, possibly.
Marcus May. Yeah. But the problem with that, though, is that that's going to be his second one. And with him coming off injury, I don't know if they're going to do that. I think they'd rather sign him to a 1-year prove-it deal.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just a placeholder, though,
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys coming off of the franchise tag from this past year: Jaguars offensive tackle Cam Robinson, Bucks wide receiver Chris Godwin, Cowboys. He got extended. Never mind. But yeah, Allen Robinson is going. No, this would be his second if he got tagged again. But Saints safety Marcus Williams. Yeah, Jets safety Marcus May, and then Washington, the Commanders guard Brandon Sheriff as well. Those are the 6 that played on the tag last year. So, yeah, no one was on their second tag last season. But anyways, let's get into
No Nagy news?
go top to bottom, Mark. Front office and then coaches. But anyways, it's only one front office. The Falcons, they have hired former Bears GM Ryan Pace as a senior personnel executive. I think it's always a good thing to have or to hire former GMs in your front office. Have experience. That's just me. The Chiefs. I don't know why this was relevant and why I got a Twitter notification about it from Adam Schefter, but Eric Bieniemy is officially returning to Kansas City as their offensive coordinator. I was talking to 2 of my friends today. I was like, I don't know why I got that tweet, but also, where else was he going to go? There weren't any other head coaching opportunities available, unless he was going to go to college, which I never know what head coaching opportunities are available there because there's too many schools. So, but yeah, I don't know where else he was going to go if he wasn't going to stay in Kansas City.
Yeah, and I don't know why he wouldn't if it wasn't for a head coaching job either. Like, I don't think he'd go anywhere else to be a coordinator somewhere else.
Yeah. Like I said, the Rams hired Kentucky offensive coordinator Liam Cohen as their OC. The Saints, Dennis Allen is keeping his people together. He promoted Ryan Nielsen to co-defensive coordinator and D-line coach, Chris Richard to co-defensive coordinator and secondary coach, and then special teams coordinator Darren Rizzi added assistant head coach to his duties as well. So interesting. New Orleans is going with a co-DC approach this year.
Yeah, it is interesting though, because I mean, the new head coach was the defensive coordinator, so he felt that it was better to split his job in half than to give it to a single person.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised they did that. I thought Chris Richard would just, slide right in there, considering he had gotten I don't know if he got any defensive. I think he did get some defensive coordinator interviews elsewhere. I think he got one head coaching interview as well.
I can't remember.
But
I'd be interested to see though, like what their roles as co-defensive coordinators are going to be. Like, are one of them or both of them calling the plays, or is Dennis Allen calling the plays there?
I would assume Dennis Allen calls the plays, and one guy will cover the passing game defense. Yeah. One guy will cover the running game defense.
Yeah.
It kind of negates having to have people with titles of pass game coordinator and run game coordinator.
Yeah.
I'm sure they still will have those people, but and yeah, Darren Rizzi, assistant head coach and special teams coordinator now. It's weird. All these special teams coordinators always get the assistant head coach job. But yeah, okay, Mark, here we go. The Chiefs have hired an old friend. It is former Bears head coach Matt Nagy. He will serve as the quarterbacks coach and a senior assistant on the offense. I mean, he's going back to his roots. He was a quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator in Kansas City before he went to Chicago, coming back with Andy Reid now under Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator. But yeah, I mean, their offense is going to be just as good.
Yeah, he's not going to really make any impact whatsoever for that team.
Yeah, he will. He's a very good quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator.
All I have to say is good thing that Patrick Mahomes is already elite because he didn't do much with Trubisky or Mr. Fields.
Yep.
Again, that was as a head coach. When he was the offensive coordinator.
The offense, though.
When he was the quarterbacks coach and the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs prior to going to Chicago, he ran a very nice offense with Alex Smith in Kansas City that got them to the playoffs multiple times.
He did. He fitted around him, but that was my concern is he never fit an offense around his quarterback in Chicago.
That could also be attributed to Ryan Pace. Ryan Pace didn't give him the tools to put.
No, I would say Andy Reid was the reason that they were good in Kansas City. And Nagy got the product of that.
Sure. I mean, but then you're going to the Eric Bieniemy argument.
Well, I mean, he's getting the brunt. He is. He's getting the reaping the benefits, and that's why he's not getting head coaching jobs is because he doesn't really call the game.
Yeah.
That's the knock on him.
I'll bring in one more former Kansas City offensive coordinator under Andy Reid. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. So, maybe that's the scale. Doug Peterson at the top, Matt Nagy at the bottom, Eric Bieniemy's in the middle right now.
Yeah, that's how
I mean, I'm not knocking Nagy because I also you also have to remember he did take the Bears to the playoffs. What was his first year?
First year, yeah.
Yeah, and the double doink.
So I mean, he's not a bad coach. I'm not saying that. It's just I think it's funny that somebody's getting the quarterback title and it's like, wow, what did he do the last few years?
Yeah. I think he'll be fine. He'll be good in Kansas City. All right, let's get to some deals because money has started to shift in the NFL. Re-signings have begun before free agency. Today is the 25th, so we got about 2.5 weeks till free agency kicks off March 16th. So teams trying to get their caps restructured. I know the Packers have been crazy trying to get money and create cap space. I know they chipped off around 15 million already. 10 of it came from Kenny Clark getting a signing bonus converted. But anyways, I absolutely hate this first re-signing. Panthers today. They re-signed tight end Ian Thomas. 3 years, $16.5 million, $8 million fully guaranteed. I absolutely hate it. What has he done? Nothing.
I mean, 16 million over 3 years isn't terrible though for what he's done.
You're paying him $8 million a year to block, or not $8 million. I don't know, whatever that is. I don't know. I did the.
It's like $6 a year.
Yeah, paying him $6 million a year. A little bit less than that. It's a block. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
5.28.
I can go draft Connor Hayward in the 6th round out of Michigan State and have him come block for $200,000. I would much rather do that than pay Ian Thomas that much money. That's what they were saying was he's a good blocking tight end. $5.5 million a year.
Yeah, then they'll go out and draft Isaiah Likely or one of those other guys.
Well, yeah, they need a tight end. I mean, the kid from Notre Dame that I'm blanking on his name, or not Notre Dame, Boston College, I think it was. They drafted last year.
Oh, Tremble?
Yeah, Tommy Tremble, Notre Dame. Yeah, he's the future receiving tight end for them. But apparently they need to pay Thomas $5.5 million to block when he has 38 career catches, I think it is.
I mean, to be fair, they need to bulk up that line as much as possible for Christian McCaffrey so he doesn't get hurt again.
Yeah, he has 90 catches over 4 seasons for 802 yards. He averages 1 touchdown a year. What does that do? Absolutely nothing.
That wins somebody a fantasy league matchup.
He did have his best, or no, he had his second worst statistical. His best season was his rookie year. 36 catches, 333 yards, and 2 touchdowns in 2018. I wouldn't have re-signed him. Just saying. I can pay someone else $5.5 million to do a lot more. Like get another receiver.
Yeah.
Add a better receiver to the receiving corps because they need some depth there. The next one, Bills. They re-signed corner / special teamer Siren Neal to a 3-year, $10.9 million deal. Key special teamer for the Bills, depth corner as well.
Now that's a solid deal, I think, because like you said, he's a key special teamer, and people often forget how important special teams actually is. I mean, we saw it in the playoffs with the Packers and 49ers game. So, yeah, that's a good deal for them. And, I mean, I don't know where he is on the depth chart for the corners, but, yeah, as long as he's contributing on special teams, then, yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah, he's probably their fourth or fifth corner, I would say. You got Tre'Davious White, Levi Wallace, and again, I'm having name issues today. The third guy is their slot corner.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's about $3.63 million per year there. Nice deal. And then I don't have figures on this one, but the Ravens, they re-signed safety Tony Jefferson as well. Key signing for them last year helped them in the injury depleted secondary that they were dealing with. So he is going to be back in Baltimore this year as well. I would think that that's only a 1 year, max 2 years, because he is over 30.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we have some cuts. People are getting re-signed, but people are also getting cut right now. They're trying to cut me out, like I said. Probably not. Well, the second one is probably a cap reason, but first one's I don't think is. I think it's performance based. The Chiefs, they have cut ties with linebacker Anthony Hitchens 4 seasons in Kansas City after his days with the Dallas Cowboys. Serviceable player. I think I use that phrase way too much on this show, especially when I'm talking about free agency and draft. But yeah, Anthony Hitchens will get signed somewhere. I think at this stage in his career, though, I think you're going to sign him as a 2-down player. He's only going to play first and second down, stop the run. I don't think he's very good in coverage.
No.
Well, the first thing that came to my mind actually was, well, the first two thoughts were he's going to get signed. And then I thought to myself, because he's serviceable. So we were on the exact same page. And what I mean by that is he's still got a little bit left in the tank. He's not going to come in and be all pro or anything, but he'd be a good locker room guy. He's going to give you added advantages on the downs that you just said.
Yeah. He was definitely a key member of the Super Bowl winning team 2 years ago. So, and then the other release that we have, the Saints have waived kicker. So I guess they're looking for another kicker. Or I guess Will Lutz is coming back.
I was going to say, they still have Will Lutz under contract, so there's no surprise there that they got rid of Brett Maher.
Yeah. Will Lutz didn't play. He didn't play at all, right?
No, I don't think so. He might have been in 1 or 2 games, but that's about it.
Yeah, he got hurt in the preseason. Never played. Yeah. So that's another thing. Like, will he come back? Will he be his old self?
I'm sure they'll have competition, but they must just not have thought that Brett Maher was it.
Eddie Pinheiro, bring him in.
I mean, he did do good with the Jets, so who knows?
Hey, Rodrigo's looking for a job, so I know he could be brought in. Considering your boy took his job in Indianapolis, in Badgley.
Yep.
Actually, I don't know. I think Rodrigo might still be signed, but let's see. Okay, that's all the news, and my phone has not been blowing up on NFL Twitter, so that's good. It's not like when we get into free agency and then I'm like, oh yeah, and this guy and this guy both got signed. It's like the show never ends during agency.
Don't worry, there's going to be some big thing happen in like an hour when we're off the show. So.
Well, no one can trade right now, so we don't have to worry about a trade anyways. Until next week when we're at the combine, and that's where all the deals get done. So, All right. So mock draft today, focusing on the number 3 and number 4 picks. The Texans, their first 3 rounds. Number 3, number 37 in the second, number 68 in the third, and then they have number 80 from the Saints. That was a trade up pick. I believe.
This is a much different draft from last year for them because they, I think, didn't have a pick to like number 86 or something like that last year.
Davis Mills, first pick of the Texans last year. Yes, sir. And then your Jets, Chris, number 4 overall, number 10 overall from the Seahawks, second first rounder of the Jamal Adams trade. Number 35 in the second, number 38 from the Panthers. That is the Sam Darnold pick. And then number 69 in the third round. So let's get to the Draft Network mock draft simulator. They're going to sue us for in trademark infringement. It's fine. It's all good. But okay, so I got it set up here. Let's start it. Who are the Jags and Lions going with? The Jags, they went with Evan Neal. Kyle Hamilton to the Lions. What a shock.
Go ahead.
That's not how the draft's going to go, but okay.
It's not. The Lions are picking Aiden Hutchinson, probably.
One of the two. I say Aiden Hutchinson, but one of the two draft pass rushers.
And I think
he'll probably be a bust because he's going to Detroit and he's really tiny for a defensive end.
Okay. Wait, is Evan Neal the consensus number 1 pick at this point, or are people still saying that the Jags are going to go and get one of those defensive linemen?
I think Evan Neal, from what I've heard, is the guy. I know one of my friends that's in sports law as well mentioned that some people don't think Evan Neal is solidified as the number 1 tackle, and that Ike Ekwonu could possibly go number 1 as well. But what this, I think Evan Neal is the guy.
Yeah.
But okay, so
you didn't like my joke about the Lions?
Well, we're just so numb about it at this point because they are the Lions, like you said.
Dude, they're like the new Browns. They just can't get it right.
Dan Campbell ate some kneecaps last year, and
I do like Dan Campbell.
But now without Kyle Hamilton on the board, that changes everything for the Texans because everything I've seen is Texans going Kyle Hamilton at 3. He's the best player available at that point. But now we have a pass rusher available, which in terms of the Draft Network, that is the Texans' number 1 need. And I do think Aiden Hutchinson is the best player on the board at this point. So I guess we're going Aiden Hutchinson at 3.
Yeah, that's where I would go.
Mark, Aiden Hutchinson, do you concur?
Sure. I like his motor, but I got to see performance at that level.
Okay, so Chris, the Jets at 4. Now, do you want you got what you want? I mean, you had the second best tackle, second best pass rusher.
This is the board that I want to see on draft night. I will be happy with either one. However, I think the Jets need to go defense here and go with Kayvon Thibodeau. Obviously, it says offensive tackle is the number 1 need for them. I think that they can get a decent offensive lineman later in the draft. And as much as I would like Ekwonu, like I said, the defense, I think, is definitely the bigger need here. Having said that, though, if both defensive linemen are off the board in the real draft, I would be perfectly fine with Aquanu.
So
The player I do not want the Jets to get is Kyle Hamilton. That's the only player I really care about them not getting.
I have always been a believer in you taking the best talent, which is not a great GM perspective for most people. However, this season with the Super Bowl team in the Super Bowl, that shows you that you go with skill positions. You go with the best positions. You go with the most impact players, and you deal with the offensive line a little bit later on, if that makes sense. And so I'm with you, man. If the best player and an edge rusher is right there that can impact the game, I would go for him, and we can find an offensive lineman in free agency or later in the draft.
There's also one coming up that they could possibly get at 10 here too.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's my thinking. Having a pick at 10, and you look at the teams that are in between those picks, 2 Giants picks, of Panthers, Falcons, and Broncos. What do those teams need? And I'm thinking that really only one of them really needs a pass rusher. That's the Falcons. The Giants could also want a pass rusher as well. They've been searching for an opposite to Azeez Ojulari. So yeah, I agree. I'd go at Kwanu here, or I'd go Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, yeah, that's what I meant to say. So yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau is our pick. I know I have seen though at least one mock draft where the Jets picked Derek Stingley at 4 as well.
Those were the early mock drafts, but Stingley's been falling as far as I know.
Board.
Didn't have a great season. I mean, injuries, but.
Okay, we're going Kayvon. Ike Mekwanu goes to the Giants. Charles Cross to the Panthers. Jermaine Johnson to the Giants. Trayvon Walker to the Falcons. Malik Willis, first quarterback off the board, to the Broncos. Now that's the worst case scenario. Both tackles got taken that you wanted.
Yeah, but I mean, I still like with the depth of this draft, I still don't know if I would have gone with Charles Cross here. And honestly, my ultimate thing would be to trade this pick for the Jets.
Not a bad idea.
I don't think we have this capability. But
I don't know if
you can double up. You could double up draft picks.
No,
Yeah.
no, we gotta be the Draft Network premium to do trades.
Yeah. But like I said, I ultimately
Put it
think
on
that
my
that's what
credit card.
happens.
Put it on my credit.
I ultimately think that that's what happens, but since it can't here, I mean, I don't know. I would either go Gardner or Burks here.
Yeah,
I like those two.
I think Sauce Gardner is the number 1 corner at this point. Derek Stingley a close second. And people want to say about how Stingley has really regressed from his freshman season, but at the same time, he does have all the traits physically that you want in a corner. He's long, able to work in press and off coverage. We'll have to see how he works out at the combine. But yeah, Sauce Gardner has had a really great rising up the boards, especially this season. He allowed, I think, wasn't it like 13 total yards or something like that?
Something crazy. Like
Yeah, it was ridiculous. The amount of shutdown he was. And who knows, maybe they can have Gardner Island in New York. Sauce Island. I like it. But yeah, I do agree. There should be a lot of trade value for the Jets at 10 because people want to come up for a quarterback in front of the Commanders at 11.
Yeah, and especially in this scenario with the Broncos going with Willis at 9. So that already takes one off the board. So anybody wanting to come up for Corral or Howell or I don't know, but yeah.
I mean, my pick, I Chris, if we want to do a deal, I'll trade with you if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers and I'm coming up and getting Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
They did this exact trade from 20 to 10 in 2015, I believe was the year. Going up and getting Devin Bush from the Broncos at number 10.
Yep.
And they don't trade first round picks often, but when you're dealing with the future of your franchise quarterback position, again, I think 20 to 10 is fine.
And I think that's the only trade that gets Pickett to stay in Pittsburgh too.
Yeah. Because you got Washington and New Orleans in the mix for quarterbacks in between. Minnesota.
Even the Browns, possibly.
I've heard Minnesota is a destination, possibly too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going with Sauce Gardner though for the Jets at 10.
Yep.
All right. Commanders, Traylon Burks, Vikings, Derek Stingley, Matt Corral to Cleveland. There it is.
I told you the Browns are going to look for one.
David Ojabo to the Ravens, Eagles back-to-back, Andrew Booth Jr. and Trevor Penning. Trent McDuffie to the Chargers, Jameson Williams to the Saints, Kenyon Green to the Eagles. Hey, it is. Kenny Pickett last stint at 20. Goes to the Steelers. Roger McCreary to the Patriots. Tyler Linderbaum to the Raiders. George Karlaftis to the Cardinals. Devontae Wyatt to the Cowboys. Jordan Davis back-to-back. Georgia Bulldog lineman there. Jordan Davis goes to the Bills. Garrett Wilson to the Titans. Kyler Gordon to the Bucks. Perrion Winfrey to the Packers. Nakobe Dean to the Dolphins. Love that matchup.
Oh, I love that.
I don't like that. It's the Dolphins. No.
Drake London to the Chiefs. Zion Johnson to the Bengals. Devin Lloyd to the Lions. Cameron Thomas to the Jags. Fourth quarterback off the board, I should say. Desmond Ridder to the Lions at 34. I would have took him at 32 to get that fifth-year option, but just saying. All right, Jets back up at 35. Again, no, there's no tackles, Chris. There's
Yeah. I mean,
we have nothing.
I think there's things that they can do. Like, again, you could get it in the third or fourth round there.
Go one with your second round pick.
But
Who picks after?
the Jets do need receiver help here, especially if they don't go and get one in free agency.
Yeah.
And because right now they have Jamison Crowder, Braxton Berrios, and Keelan Cole, all free agents. Whether or not they re-sign those guys, I don't know. But they're definitely going to need help.
People?
No, not usually. But yeah, they're going to need help in that department. And I like that top guy right there, Olave.
Yeah, it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for an outside receiver, you're going Chris Olave. They still have Jameson Williams, so I agree. Chris Olave would probably be the pick because Jahan Dotson, as dynamic as he is a slot receiver.
Yeah, and they got Elijah Moore for that now.
Yeah. Chris Olave. Giants, they go Christian Harris at 36. Texans up here. Corner is apparently their top need. They didn't get Kyle Hamilton.
I like Brisker there if they're going to go safety.
Yeah, Dax Hill is also available. But what about helping out Davis Mills?
Yeah, they need that too.
Jahan Dotson's number one guy, but that's not who I would go with if we're going to go receiver. I would go with the bottom guy there, David Bell, out of Purdue. You have Kenneth Walker there too.
I think they definitely need receivers more than they need a running back, though.
Yeah. Their only receiver is Brandon Cooks. Really.
And he's obviously the deep guy, so now look for one of the slot guys that can do the short routes.
Well, then you wouldn't want Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson is more of a burner. David Bell, I think, is the possession receiver type.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because when you look at David Bell, 6'2", 205, not necessarily a jump ball guy, but when you compare it to Jahan Dotson at 5'11", 184, a lot smaller there. So, do we have a consensus as that we're going receiver? Mark.
Receiver. I'm a skill position guy, baby.
All right. So I'm going to make the decision to go David Bell for the Houston Texans. And then the Jets now up at 38.
So we got edge, corner, and wide receiver for them, right?
We have Kayvon Thibodeau, Ahmad Gardner, and Chris Olave, the first 3 picks. We can reach for a tackle if you want, Chris. I mean, there are guys that are, they're a little bit down there, but,
Yeah, I think that we can get Falele or whatever. I think you can get him in the 3rd round.
Don't call him Falele.
Whatever.
Fa'alele.
Whatever, Falele. But I think that he'll still be there in the 3rd round for them. So I would hold off on that.
He won't be.
And I would go defense again for the 3rd time. And I would address the safety position because there's still no guarantee that they get Marcus May back. And without him, they really have nobody at safety because Ashton Davis is terrible. And, I mean, their guy from last year, why am I blanking on his name? The free agent that they brought over that, tore his Achilles in training camp. From the Rams or the Raiders, one of them. I can't remember. But, yeah, they need a safety, and I would go with one of those guys. I don't know which one, though.
I don't know. So we're supposed to get pressure by getting an edge rusher. We went out and got a receiver. You had a rookie quarterback last year. This is where I actually would probably stretch for protection.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, just like
that doesn't mean I win. So there's a third opinion in this.
Yeah, I mean, just like quarterbacks, offensive tackles have in the past 5-ish drafts, I would say, have begun to get pushed up the board because they are, one of the top 3 positions that you need to win. That's quarterback, left tackle, and a key pass rusher.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think you could stretch for Bernard Raymond out of Central Michigan. That would be my go-to if you're going tackle.
Well, I don't know much about these 2 guys though. Are they left tackle, right tackle, switch? What do they do?
I mean, Fa'alele is massive. 6'8", 380. He played left tackle at Minnesota. I'm not too familiar with Raymond. I'm interested to watch him work out next week at the Combine. So I'll probably have to look more at him. But he, 6'7", 305, both ginormous human beings.
Because I'd imagine right here they're trying to draft a right tackle because their right tackle was Morgan Moses, who is now a free agent. So if they don't re-sign him, they're going to need one, obviously. And also, left tackle, we got Mekhi Becton, who is hurt. So I think that they should draft somebody that's used to the right side, but can also slide over to the left if need be.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that. I think teams are just drafting talent, and I don't think they're drafting necessarily for a position, a specific position, because we saw that last year. The Lions, they had Taylor Decker at left tackle, and yet they go draft Penei Sewell anyways and slide Hal Vaitai into guard and put Sewell at right tackle. So, yeah, I think teams are just drafting for talent right now. But Chris, you're the Jets fan, so you get the ultimate decision. And if you want to go safety, again, it depends what you want. Do you want a coverage safety or a box safety?
I
Marcus
mean,
May, the coverage guy, right?
yeah, but again, we don't know what's going on with him. So
I think Dax Hill and Jaquan Brisker are both more box than they are coverage guy, but I agree with you that I do like Brisker better.
yeah, if I were to go safety here, I'd go Brisker. But if we decide to go offensive line, I'd go probably with the Fa'alele.
Well, again, it's your team, so you are the final.
No, I think offensive tackle or offensive line in general is probably a bigger need at this point. So I would probably slide down there.
Look at that, Mark. We convinced him.
I like it. That's the offensive lineman I would have went with. Filet mignon.
So you're going with the bigger guy, 6'3", 380.
I'm hungry. I like the bigger guy. I need to
I'm
find
a little nervous about that though, being that we have the issues with Mekhi Becton, but I would still take him right now.
All right. I would go Raymond, but outvoted. So, all right, Daniel Fa'alele to the Jets at 38. Jahan Dotson off the board at 39 to the Bears. Dax Hill to the Broncos. Boye Mafe to the Seahawks. Commanders get their new quarterback, Sam Howell. Christian Watson to the Falcons. Brian Asamoah to the Browns. Kenneth Walker to the Ravens. DeMarvin Leal to the Vikings.
That's awesome if that happens.
Tariq Woolen to the Colts. Logan Hall to the Chargers. Bernard Raymond to the Saints. Kingsley Enagbare to the Dolphins. Josh Pascal to the Eagles. Sean Ryan to the Steelers. Travis Jones for the Raiders. That's a matchup right there. Travis Jones and the Raiders. That just feels right. Tad Muma, another one that just.
I don't like that one.
That's a Patriots pick, right?
Yeah,
there.
I don't like that.
Kyer Elam to the Cardinals. Damari Salyer to the Cowboys. Arnold Ebiketie to the Bills. Jaquan Brisker to the Falcons. Myjai Sanders for the Packers. George Pickens to the Bucks. Darian Kennard to the Niners. Darian Beavers to the Chiefs. Isaiah Likely to the Bengals. A little tight end run here. Trey McBride to the Broncos. Fidarian Mathis to the Jags. John Metke to the Lions. And the Giants get a new quarterback in the third round. Carson Strong to New York.
Okay.
All right. Whatever. That's why I love these predictive mock drafts. Okay, so for the Texans, we got Aiden Hutchinson at 3, David Bell at 37. We're at our first third round pick. We can go top board. Our boy, Mark, Lewis Cine.
Yeah.
You know, Texans missed out on Kyle Hamilton in this mock draft with the Lions taking him at 2. So I see no issue with taking Lewis Cine here with the Houston Texans.
Not at all.
I hate that, but it is a good idea. I was really hoping he'd last to the next pick for the Jets, since we didn't go safety in the previous pick.
The Lewis Cine to Houston here. You know, Jets safety still available. Jalen Petrie still there, dude. I mean, he's no slouch either.
Okay. I'm probably going to get outvoted here because it's not really a need for the Jets at this point. However, you're right below a guy that I would love to see the Jets take right now at this pick with Breece Hall, match him up with Michael Carter, and the two of them take over the backfield for the Jets.
But I need Michael Carter to get all the touches, Chris, for my fantasy team.
Well, he'll get the receptions probably, but
yeah, I mean, I'd go safety with Jalen Petrie here. If you want to reach for a tight end, you can. Jalen Watermeyer's sitting there for you.
yeah, the only tight end at this point that I would go for would be Jeremy Ruckert.
Why?
I wanted McBride, but he got taken, so
I'm not as high on Ruckert. That's probably because he got overshadowed by the receivers. But I think, Jalen Petrie would be my pick here. Otherwise, if you wanted to go, you could go Tyler Smith at interior line, get a guard.
Now is the time to go safety because, like I said, we skipped over it in the last pick. I think it would be time to get him now.
Petrie had a really great Senior Bowl too.
Uh-huh.
All right, Jalen Petrie at 69 to the Jets, Damone Clark to the Jags, Tyler Smith to the Bears, Nicholas Petit-Frere to the Seahawks, Isaiah Spiller for the Commanders, Dylan Parham to the Falcons, Drake Jackson to the Broncos, Darian Kendrick to the Ravens, Kirby Joseph for the Vikings, Sky Moore for the Browns, Zachary Carter to the Chargers. Back on the Texans again, we have Aiden Hutchinson, David Bell, and Lewis Seen here. Corner, we got skill positions at the top of the board here. Corner, next one's Mario Goodrich, 89. I'm fine with not taking a corner. Let's go get another skill position. And let's get Breece Hall for the freaking Houston Texans. Why not?
Either him or one of the tight ends because they need a tight end as well.
Why? They just drafted Brevin Jordan.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really like him.
I do. He just didn't get a chance. But yeah.
I mean, running back is obviously a bigger need for them. So Breece Hall here would be a good pick.
Yeah. As much as I would love to give him Calvin Austin and
either that or go Leo Chenal at linebacker.
Yeah. But let's draft a fantastic offense around Davis Mills. Breece Hall to go along with David Bell on offense. Giants, Ed Ingram, Calvin Austin to the Colts, Leo Chenal to the Eagles. Let's go Matthew Butler to the Steelers, Damari Mathis for the Patriots, Wan'Dale Robinson for the Raiders, Kyle Phillips to the Cards, Sterling Weatherford to the Cowboys, Jalen Weidermeyer to the Bills, Mario Goodrich to the Titans, Abraham Lucas to the Bucks, Rasheed Walker to the Packers, Alante Taylor to the Niners. I will finish this up here. Nick Benito to the Chiefs, Cordell Volson for the Bengals, Kyron Williams for the Broncos, Sam Williams for the Lions, John Ridgeway to the Browns, Spencer Burford to the Ravens, Jeremy Ruckert to the Saints, Jalen Tolbert to the Dolphins, Marcus Jones to the Chiefs, and the Rams get Quay Walker at 103.
Solid.
So our picks for the Texans and Jets. Texans at 3 get Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan. Jets at 4, Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon. 10 for the Jets, Sauce Gardner out of Cincy. 35 in the second round for the Jets, Chris Olave out of Ohio State. 37 for the Texans, David Bell out of Purdue. Jets at 38, Daniel Fa'alele out of Minnesota. Texans come up on the third round, Lewis Seen out of Georgia. 69 for the Jets, Jalen Petrie out of Baylor. And then 80 for the Texans, Breece Hall out of Iowa State.
I think it's a solid draft for both teams.
I concur. I do, however, like the Texans draft better. But that's just me. It's because I like Davis Mills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next Friday is going to be jam-packed, y'all. It's going to be a long show. I'm just warning you now. We are going to have San Diego State NIL coordinator Michelle Meyer on the show. She's going to talk about NIL, the current state of college athletics, what she does with the NIL network, as well as her position at San Diego State. And it ties in well because that will be the second day of on-field work at the NFL Combine, Scouting Combine. So I'm interested to watch that as well next week. And then we'll also finish off the show just like we did today with another 3-round mock draft. We'll be doing the Falcons and the Broncos. It's interesting to skip the numbers because we're having 5 and 6 on Monday. That's the Giants and Panthers. Got to skip 7 for the Giants' second pick. And then the Monday after that, we're going to skip 10 for the Jets pick, go to 11. So, Falcons and Broncos. Maybe we can even possibly get my Falcons fan and Mark and I's friend Jack on here, possibly. We'll see what he's doing, if he's working or not for next Friday. But that is the show for today. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. FAApodcast.com is our website. You can check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, etc. And if you are a big Twitter person, make sure to hop on Twitter after this and check out the Hermo Happy Hour at Troy Hermo. I will be on there speaking right after this, pretty much. So thank you all for watching. And we will see you back on Monday.